really appreciate everyone being here this evening or this afternoon or this morning, wherever you are in the world. We're going to take a break from all the technical parts, so if you're only interested in technique, this is not the webinar for you, but if you're interested in the psychology and the discipline part of trading, this is the event to watch. What we're going to do is something a little different here. Instead of waiting till the end and giving you an opportunity to ask questions, what we're going to do is set up the questions from the very beginning. And I know that, you know, when I listen to seminars, I always wonder, oh my goodness, what question would I want to ask? And I know I have so many questions in my head, and I never know what to ask. So I'm going to make it easy for you by giving you the questions. And you could either ask the questions that are on here, and we have many more questions that I have on here, or you can frame the question yourself. So I'm going to kick it off by asking a typical question people ask. Why do traders find it difficult to enter trades on time? Well, one of the reasons traders find it difficult to enter trades on time is because they have a thought that is in conflict with their strategy. Strategy meaning your criteria for entering and exiting a trade. A good conditioning to follow your strategy is to see a signal, recognize it's familiar, feel good about it, and take the trade. Bad conditioning is when you form a habit of seeing a signal, recognizing it's familiar, feel good about it, hear a voice. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Remember the last time you did that and lost? Why didn't you wait and get more confirmation? Then you feel bad about the trade, and you have conflict, and you don't take the trade, or you're in too late. The way to change this pattern is by first recognizing that it is there and change the picture to get a positive response. However, most people don't think to do this. Another issue is when you are past the point of getting the original picture of a loss and just get the sensation that doesn't feel good. This sensation is usually based on fear. The trader either doesn't trust himself or doesn't trust his strategy. If he doesn't trust his strategy, he must go back to testing or simulation until he does. If he doesn't trust himself, then he must practice mental rehearsal or get help. Let's see. Billy, okay, good, 1 through 9. Let me see. Okay, we'll start with 1. Why am I so afraid of losses, even the small ones? If you look back in your entire life and you realize that anything bad that's ever happened to you has to do with a loss. So you create this cesspool, that I call it, inside of you of emotions. And you know, when you feel good, you feel good, you feel good, you feel good. You don't ever say to yourself, unless something's wrong with you, I feel so good, I don't want to feel good anymore. But when you feel bad, you repress it and suppress it because you don't want to feel bad anymore. This becomes part of your neurological system, and as a result of it, it stays in the cells of your body as something to be released. So now you're in a trade, and you have a drawdown of 1, 2, 3, maybe in 4. And maybe the first 2 don't affect you, but by the time you get to the 3rd one, you're feeling uncomfortable and you're feeling the sense of loss. And then when you go to that place that is a depression in you, you will not only bring up the loss that you're having in your trading, but you bring up the losses from all over your life. And then that loss is not about the one loss, it's about all those losses, and you're wondering why, you know, you lost a few $100s and it's a big deal. Well, it's a big deal because you're dealing with all those losses of your life. Okay. I will go with number 2. Why should something in my past affect my trading now? The fact is that you are made up of the stories of your life. I mean, if I were to ask you what happened a year ago or what happened 10 years ago, you'll give me a story, and then you'll give me an interpretation of that story. All the interpretations of the stories in your life give you an attitude towards life and make you act in a certain way. When you change the story or you change the interpretation of the story, you change your life. So you are made up of all of these stories, and these stories are they're in your life right now because they're building blocks for who and what you are. Trading is a trip of discovery about yourself, and when the part of you is not working, then what happens is it's because of an interpretation of something that happened to you in the past, and it will affect your trading because everything in trading has to do with everything in your life with regard to performance. Okay, I will continue going down the line. Don't mind a loss when it is manageable, not blown out of proportion. What a start. Forex newbie. Okay, perception is everything. Okay, so I'll ask myself another question. He said 1 through 9, so let's go with, how do you get to the root cause of sabotage issues? Okay, let's look at what sabotage issues are in trading, and sabotage issues are in life. First of all, there's fear. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being wrong, all the fears that lead you to a point of getting your neurological system so out of whack that you can't think, you can't perform, you act irrationally. And then there is conflict. Part of you says go, part of you says no, and you're fighting yourself. Or there is belief systems that are limiting. A limiting belief is, oh, I can't be a trader because all the big boys are taking all the money, or the markets are rigged, or this trading is too difficult for the average person. And you have these limiting beliefs that keep you from being a trader. So how do you get to the root cause of these? Well, I have an evaluation and I can determine a lot of what's going on in your life. So that's one of the ways. But all you have to do is go back in your life and just rediscover all of those main issues that you've had in your life that have caused you regret and sadness and anger and frustration. And that's where all the root of all of these sabotage issues come from. They come from those areas in your life where you were in a state of stress. Now, overcoming the issues, we'd have to go back and revamp all those issues. That's the way to do it on a subconscious level. On a conscious level, maybe there's only 1 or 2 issues that you have, and just focusing on translating the stories in a different way can be all the difference in the world to you. Trading, if not managed, probably can be as destructive as drug or alcohol addiction. The fact is, Kevin, that trading for most people is a losing proposition because they don't do the right things. You have to get a mentor. You have to get someone to make your life easier in trading. You have to find someone that you trust, you like their strategy, they're a good teacher for you to be able to do it in a faster way. Now, you have many mentors here, you have many teachers here to pick from in this 24-hour period. And, you might get a mentor from a book, or maybe you go to a trading meeting and you meet people there. But you have to have someone that you can identify with to make your life a little bit faster to getting to the point of trading. Too many people, what they do is they fail their way to success. They read this book, they read that book, they listen to this webinar, this talk, speaker, that speaker, and they get so much information that they think trading is so complicated because they have all these strategies, and they can't look at one strategy without thinking of 10 other strategies. And as a result of all of that, they get tremendously confused. Well, you have to hone in on one idea, one criteria for entering and exiting a trade and managing your money. And once you get that idea, then you work it. You work it in sim trading, and then you work it in real-time trading. And if you can't follow it, then you get a coach like me to help you along the way. But the fact is that most people don't do it. So they're in the 90%. They're not in the the people that are watching all of these speakers. They're in the percentage that try to do it the hard way. And the hard way is to just fumble along and reading, Trading for Dummies, and trying to get up bits and pieces all over the place, and picking stocks that their barber told them, or their next door neighbor, or because people are standing in line of Krispy Kreme, all of a sudden they want to put a trade on it. That's where most of traders are, and that's why there's such a high percentage of people that lose. Now, of the 10% of people that actually make money in the markets, this percentage are people who take it seriously. I mean, the fact is that if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you have to be educated. You have to pay money to be educated. You know, people will come to me and say, oh, I've put $5,000, $10,000 in my education for trading. Well, my goodness, how much do you have to put into becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or any profession nowadays? You have to put in a lot of money to get the kind of education that will make the kind of money that you make in trading. And most people don't think in terms of educating themselves in a way that can bring them to financial success. So yes, then trading becomes gambling. Because if you don't do the right things, if you don't set out to get the right teachers and do what traders do to be successful, you will fail. And then trading, it becomes an addiction and a problem because you're doing it the wrong way. How can I overcome my issue of knowing what to do, exercise, e.g. exercise, meditation, or trading my plan, but I still don't do it? Now, the reason people don't follow their plan, and they might be doing everything in their life in a way that supports their trading, is because there is an underlying issue, an underlying problem of fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being wrong, not trusting your strategy, and trading in a way that where there is too much information. So when you have all of those issues, or even one of those issues, it's going to have you're going to have a problem in following your rules. What I suggest is do a mental rehearsal over and over and over and over again until it becomes, it will feel uncomfortable to do the wrong thing. That's when you know you have arrived, when you feel uncomfortable about doing the wrong thing in trading. And you don't have to invest any money in finding that out. You do it over and over and over in your brain. There were stories of people in concentration camps going through golf, a whole session of golf over and over. And when they got out of the concentration camps, they were actually better than when they went in on playing golf. That's why mental rehearsal can be so important to you, because what you're doing is you're training your brain to take the trade on time. So this is a fast way of not having to go through, you know, the kind of work that I do on the subconscious mind. But if you're still having problem with that, I suggest, and I'll tell you about my evaluation later on, to find out where the problems are and what you can do about them. What is the fastest way to develop rock-hard discipline, patience in my brain? You know, I've written 13 books on the subject of discipline. So discipline is an easy definition of following your rules, and it can be a complicated definition of understanding of the whole psychology of a human being. So the fastest way of developing discipline is by doing things in your life that you normally haven't done in the past and being very disciplined about it, whether it is the organization of your room, whether it is taking a list of things you want to do in the day and checking those things off and getting them done during the day. So you train your subconscious mind to be serious about your wanting to be serious about discipline. And when it gets that information and it gets that that you're serious about trading and you're serious about discipline, it will support you, but it won't support you if you break agreements in life. You have to set up agreements in life, in every area of your life. Like, for instance, you know, if a diet for you was carrot sticks, celery sticks, and chocolate cake, the next time you go on a diet, it'll say, oh, I remember how to do this, and it will give you the information of celery sticks, carrot sticks, and chocolate cake. So you have to show consistency in your life, in the discipline you show in all aspects of your life, and being on time, and saying and doing what you say you're going to do, and then you're more likely to be disciplined. What are some of the bigger lessons that a trader must learn? First of all, the biggest lesson that a trader must learn is that it is a doable profession. It is not something that only a few can do with success. Many people are out there having successful trading careers, but you have to do the right thing. Then the second thing is you have to have basic market knowledge. You have to understand how the markets work. And, you know, you could read books like Trading 101 by Sonny Harris, or Trading 102 by Sonny Harris, or A Reminiscence of a Stock Operator by Jesse Livermore. Get the basics of trading. Then you listen to a series of lectures like this. This is really good because you can identify with some of these speakers. And when you feel comfortable with, then you say, okay, I have to have a certain amount of money to invest in my trading career. And go for that, and go for what this person is teaching you. So the second part of the next part of the lesson is get the education in a strategy and don't reinvent the wheel. The next thing is, once you have developed that strategy, you put it in a business plan. And within that business plan, you have your set of rules of your criteria for entering and exiting your trade, your money management. What is your theory? Why do you believe that what you have will give you the opportunity to make money? Why do you believe this is true? So that's the next part of the lesson you have to learn. And then you simulate trading, or you trade with you know, limited amount of money, and you test what you have. And if you can't do it, then you know that you have to deal with the psychology of trading. And if you don't deal with the psychology, it's always going to be there for you. You know, there are many people that I work with who start out, when I start working with them, they're already there. They're already making 40, 50% in their trading. And there's still blocks to getting to the next level of success. So no matter what level you are, you're still going to have problems getting to that next level. I mean, I worked with a guy that made $25 million the year before I worked with him. And when I worked with him, I saw that there were blocks to getting to the next level. And when we figured out what those blocks were, the next year he made $40 million. So that's in a very unusual situation, but people like to hear about unusual situations. And this fellow was a blue-collar worker originally. He never went to college, and he almost flunked his way out of high school. So it's not the fact that, you know, he has a doctorate and he's a genius and all of this, but the one thing that he did show discipline in his life, because he became a weightlifter, and that made him very disciplined. Okay. Know your triggers. Okay. Now, oh, there's more questions down here. Excuse me. Let me look further down. I agree, but the best psychology without a robust trading and education system can still leave you a blown account. Kevin, that's true. The fact is they have to go hand in hand. You have to have a trading strategy that works for you, with your lifestyle and with your resources, and then if you can't follow that strategy, if somebody else is making money with that strategy and you're not, then you got to look into the psychology of trading. I am exactly at 50-50 for 5 years, not lost or gained what is the percentage of that? The fact is that there are many people that are at break even. I always say break even is hallelujah time, but you know, when you're at break even for 5 years, if I'm understanding it correctly, that means that there is something that is not allowing you to earn money, and very often it's because of success issues. I can't diagnose you with success issues without seeing an evaluation of you, but I can say that for many people that is the case. They are afraid of the responsibilities. They are afraid of making money because they might lose it, so they keep themselves in the same position. But if you could be at break even, that shows consistency, it shows discipline, it shows you know what you're doing, but you do have a psychological block. Jeffrey, are you saying that it takes about 10,000 hours of trading to master oneself and your tools? I don't know how you got the 10,000 hours, but what I'm saying as far as how long it takes, there was a fellow that he came to my first seminar 23 years ago, and he was not a trader, he was a lawyer. And he said, I found out that discipline was the most important thing, so I'm starting with that, and then I'm going to go to a strategy. Well, he was successful within 6 months of trading, and he was a successful trader thereafter. So you can do it in a shorter period of time. The average person takes about 3 years when they fight doing the right things. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting some strange things out. How about answering questions 8 and 9? 8. How do your thoughts affect your trading? Well, your thoughts will trigger your emotions and the action that you take in your life. So if you're thinking negative thoughts or limiting thoughts, or every thought that you have is a belief, and any limiting belief is going to affect your performance in whatever you're trying to do in life. So when you change your thoughts and you change the interpretation of your thoughts, it's going to change the direction of your trading. Let's see. Kevin, I'm a newbie, but I make a plan, go over the plan, then reach the plan, then go for it. Okay. Let's see. Trading also releases adrenaline, which is addictive. The list, the PSL diminishes the propensity. Yes, it can. You can get to the point of releasing adrenaline, but you want your emotions. You know, people will say take the emotions out of trading. That is not necessarily true. I mean, you want to feel good about the opportunity. You want to feel good about making a profit. But if you get that hot damn kind of emotional level, or that aw shucks type of emotional level, that will bring up adrenaline, and then it will let you down for a really hard drop. So yeah, you don't want those adrenaline rushes. Take a Valium. Yeah, that's great. Then you won't think clearly. My trigger is impulse. And you know, to be impulsive in trading, eventually, you know, that's the best way. That's the way the best traders trade. But you have to be a technician before you can be go with the flow of trading. Someone has to fund the top 10%. Someone has to fund the top % of traders. Kevin, in a lot of people's cases, because they work for institutions and they have the kind of education that institutions will take them seriously, or they show some kind of percentage that an institution will take them, yeah, then they can get that kind of money. But the fact is that I have worked with people that have started from scratch and made it to a high level of success. Ellen, you may be afraid of missing a good trade, so you jump before it is ready. I have had to deal with that myself. That certainly is the case. Seems like most people are donors to the top 10%. You could look at it that way, but I prefer looking at it that top 10% has done their work, has done what they're supposed to do in being successful, and that's why they're there. And the other people, you're giving them an opportunity to learn. It's another way of looking at it. Okay, I'm gonna go further on in the question. So somebody asked me number 9. In your many years of coaching, what are the main reasons traders fail? I've stated quite a few of them, but some of the reasons traders fail is, first of all, they don't get the right education. They don't get an education that is specific for them. They don't have the resources. They don't have enough money to work that strategy, and they don't handle the psychology of trading. I'm going to go to the second set of questions, but I'll continue to answer your questions. For those training wheels should just buy the dips and learn to buy the supports with global companies. Okay, you know, you're giving a technical thing, and that's wonderful. This is not part of what this particular workshop is about, but you know, there's lots of good advice out there. It's a question of whether people can follow the advice of the technicals. If they can't, that's why I've been in business for 23 years. Someone wins, someone loses. Okay. How about someone wins, someone wins? Someone wins money, the other win lessons. Al, and every time the market drops 100 points or more, buy more of these companies. We just start. Okay. You know, it's hard to read some of your comments because I'm trying to. I really would like to stick to your asking questions. You know, if I'm reading, you know, just your comments about trading, you're going to miss out on the opportunity of this particular workshop and what it's all about. Okay. The problem is there are too many things out there and don't know which ones to choose. So we end up in this cycle of trying out everything and end up in a mess. Best thing is to stick to one strategy and master it till you succeed. Absolutely true. And you know, before you go into a strategy, ask yourself these questions. What are my resources? Do I have time? Do I have money? Do I have the kind of support? Because if you don't have these basic things, then you're going to have to look towards maybe swing trading, maybe investment trading, until you can get to a point of being able to trade a longer percentage of the day out. And then you start making money, and there go, and start taking small profits from small trades. Okay. Okay, you're still having a conversation with yourselves. Just a second. It's not easy to find best schools or academy of trading where you can learn really how to trade. There are many scams out there. How do I get to the right education? Yes, there are many scams out there. One of the things you could look at is if the people who are teaching you trading are traders themselves, have they produced good results? You know, is that provable? Can you see their track record? And do they have people that you could talk to that are making money with them? You know, how many followers do they have? That kind of a thing. How does one find good trades on a daily basis? Well, I don't answer technical questions, so I'm not the person to answer that kind of questions. Let's see. Should you set a profit target or set no limitations on your profits? What you should do is have only one rule about trading, and that is you have rules and you follow those rules. If you follow rules that that you have tested that will make you money. You're doing your job as a trader. Trading is not to make money. Trading is to follow rules, because if you follow rules, you'll make money. Okay. Some educators make more money teaching than they do trading. That's true, and you know, I can name a few people who give all their education money to charity. That doesn't necessarily mean people have to give their education money to charity. I'm just saying that there are some people that actually do that. Okay, so let me ask you, answer another question. Why do I make money only to give it back? The main issue is that traders are dealing with when they have a pattern of making money only to give it back is from what I call emotional repression. The natural response for a human being is to express emotions outwardly. When they are babies, we cry and we are hungry, sleep, wet, upset, or affection. Later we learn the word no and find that it is displeasing to others when we show that we have negative emotions too often, too much. So we start to learn to block emotions. When we feel pain in a result of something we have experienced, we bury that pain within us or save it for a more appropriate time to let loose. Traders are taught that a good trade should feel emotion. Other traders teach them that emotions will get them in trouble. But as human beings, it is our nature to feel emotions. When emotions are repressed, it forms a pressure cooker of emotions inside of us, waiting for that right opportunity to burst. When a trader earns money for a while and has the pressure of emotions inside on one day, he is tired, has gone through a few losses, or perhaps an annoying distraction, this creates an environment where everything will explode. There go the profits. Here's a story of one of my best clients that was dealing with emotional repression. He was a floor trader who I worked with over 15 years ago, named Hal, who wanted to be a money manager. He had a pattern of periodically losing a great deal of his profits. I remembered at the time he had less than $20,000 in his account. I told him he could not afford to work with me. He said that he couldn't afford not to work with me. So here's where the issue got started. When he was a child, his cousin Tony stole his piggy bank. He was saving to buy skates. Hal's parents said that he couldn't prove it, so they basically told him to stop crying and complaining. Later on in life, Hal saw that his parents go through a bankruptcy. Again, he stuffed his feelings inside, hence repressed emotions. For Hal, he created a situation that rather than the markets taking his profits, he would do it himself. Within 6 months, he had of working with me at $10 million under management. Within 5 years thereafter, he had over $300 million under management. So what you do if you see that you have this problem of making money and then losing it? Don't trade when you are tired or upset. You must monitor how you feel every hour of every day that you're trading, or you can go for deeper work. If you are afraid that you might have such a problem and want to confirm it, you can you'll lose a great deal of money. You can take something like my trader's evaluation that I talked to you about. The fact is that if you want to keep steady profits, you must monitor your emotions in any case. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how do you feel before you take an opportunity? This will keep you from blowing up an account that you've accumulated money for a period of time. Okay, let's see. Dave, I have a small budget, couple of thousand. Is it possible to start trading Forex as the only source of trading? I am ready to trade 10 hours per day. Is that possible to live on Forex? Okay. With the average person that starts making money is going to make 25% a year. If you have another form of income that can support you, and you have that couple of thousand, yes, you can build it. But it's going to take you a while to build that kind of money. Forex is what I used to trade, and I was very successful at it. But it can be very volatile. It can be, you have to be able to withstand drawdowns. And, you know, with only a couple of $1,000s, it's going to be difficult. Now, when you say you have 10 hours a day, 10 hours of trading is too much. It's too stressful. I mean, some of my best traders trade 2 hours a day. Full-time trading is full-time money, not full-time hours. Most people that trade, try to trade an 8-hour day will make money in the morning and then give it back in the afternoon, because by the afternoon they're really stressed. So is it possible to live on Forex if you have another income? Yes, but if you're trading with $2,000 and you have no other form of income, it's going to take you money to live, and that's not going to work. So better keep a job and trade full-time 2 hours a day and build your capital. Brendan, well, that answers a lot of questions. Trading is to follow rules, not to make money. Yes, and the reason I say it's not to make money, because if you focus on the money, money brings forth emotions. Money is your savings account. Money is your traveling money. Money is your kids' education, and you become attached to the emotions of money. But if you have good rules and you follow those rules, you will make money. Okay, Shah, from what you are saying, what are the trading rules? Okay, let me correct that. What are the best or most effective, easy trading rules? The fact is that some of my best clients, the ones that have made the most amount of money, have the most effective, easy trading rules. They have about 4 or 5 criteria for entering a trade. And you have to decide what that is. You can almost take any simple trading method where you know that somebody is earning a profit, and then start working it for yourself in sim trading to see how you can make it your own. Because even some of the best trading teachers out there, they always say, if you don't make it your own, it's not going to work for you. They made it work for them, and they took years to make it work for them. So you're going to have to find some basic, simple rules, and when it's too complicated, there are too many things that can go wrong. Will your presentation be archived? Yes. From the first thing is, where is the dust to claim? Huh? From the first not a thing is, where is any dust to claim? Maybe I'm getting tired, but I don't understand the question. The market giveth and the market taketh away. So, Adrienne, you're saying, let go of wounded childhood. I'm saying let go of wounded anything in your life. There are people who might not have had a wounded childhood, but they might have gotten wounded as a result of their wounds that have been inflicted in being in the markets. The markets are not like Federal Reserve. If someone makes money, then someone has to lose money. That's a simple concept. Yes, it is a simple concept, and it's one way of thinking, but if you think that way, for some people, it bothers them to think that way. I prefer to think that someone makes money and someone learns lessons, and if they don't learn lessons, they shouldn't be in this business. Okay, how much money do you need to trade ES or to make $10,000 a month? Everyone is different, and you can't say how much does it take to make $10,000 a month. What it takes is you're having the kind of strategy that will allow you to make that kind of money, and your ability to take the kind of risk that it takes to make that kind of money. Remember, I said the average trader makes 25% a year. So you do the math. Don't trade scared money. Absolutely, Elena. If you're trading money that is allocated for other things in your life, for instance, your retirement fund, your kids' education, your vacation money, then what's going to happen to you is every time you lose $1 of that money, you're going to feel the pain, especially if you've worked really hard to get that money there. The money in your trading account should be your investment money, or I prefer call it prefer to call it inventory for your business. I mean, if you go in the shoe business, you have to have shoes. If you go into trading, you have to have money. Money is the way to make money. That is your inventory to earn a profit. Money is a religion. In God we trust. Money for me is energy, and it can be energy. It can be good energy or bad energy, depending upon the way you apply it. There are many people that have a great deal of money and they put it to good use and to make this world better, and that money energy is good. And there are people who have very little money that put it to bad use. So it's not and to give back to the community. Okay, what is more profitable to trade, stock options or Forex? It depends upon your personality and what fits you. I have found that, you know, over the years with something like Forex, you can make a lot of money very quickly, but you can lose a lot of money very quickly. With options, you're hedging yourself, and with stocks, it's not quite as volatile as futures. However, you know, I've seen people make money in every one of those areas, and I've seen people lose money in every area. Can you speak to intuition and discretion trading, specifically listening to your inner voice when a trade seems to be setting up per rules, but it doesn't feel right, so you skip it, or the opposite when there's, okay. Rob, intuitive trading is the best, or the highest level, the master trading. But you can't get to the point of intuitive trading and trust that intuitive trading until you have a foundation of making money on the level of technique. Once you've got a technique down, then you can add what I call an intuitive filter, and then it becomes, then you can make it reliable. But again, to add an intuitive filter, you have to handle the psychological issues of your life, or it can work against you. Your psychology has to be pure in order for you to read the flow of the markets right. And yes, I've trained a lot of intuitive traders, a lot of master traders, and I've worked with them. And you know, there are people who teach trading, and that they will be very good at teaching technique. And you wonder why they make so much more money than you, and it's because they have the ability for intuition. They have the ability to flow with the markets, and they don't know how to teach it because it's something they've learned on their own. Most people who try to start out with intuition and they haven't handled their psychological issues, they will find out that they get some heavy lessons from their pockets. Okay. I'm always confused with trading according to your personality. Markets don't behave according to personality. Okay, when I'm talking about personality, for instance, if you're the kind of person who gets very, very emotional with every single trade, day trading is probably not a good idea for you. But if you get extremely impatient to want to have you know, several opportunities in a day, then maybe swing trading is not for you. And you know, if you're the kind of person that is afraid of most risk, then you have the kind of personality that might be investing trading, and trading once in a while is the kind of investing, is the kind of trading for you. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiving others is forgiving yourself for taking on the emotion that you got in the first place as a result of your interpretation of what they did to you. Dave, how about penny stocks? Is it easier to make money with penny stocks than with Forex? You know, I can't give you answers like that because I've seen people make money with penny stocks, and I've seen people make money with Forex, and I've seen the reverse. So it's not a question of easy, it's a question of what's right for you. Why some traders tend to cut early profits and leave the losses run. The reason people cut profits and let losses run, they cut profits because they're afraid that the trade is going to go against them, and they want to get what they can out of the profits, and they leave the losses run because they're afraid that that the trade is going to come back and they're going to lose out on the opportunity of the win. That is one reason. There are many reasons, but that's one of the best reasons for that. Lots of good questions. Really appreciate it. What about when we lose, we lose. Then when we win, we get some back of the banks. First of all, when you lose, you lose. That's true. And you're not going to get it back. That's gone forever. And when you think about it's gone forever, and it's a new trading day, and whatever you make, and whatever you lose on every day, that is history. When you start thinking of, you're going to make something back, then what your psychology does is it looks at making something back, making something back, making something back, and then when you get to the point of break even, then your psychology is saying we got to make something back, so we got to lose it to make it back. So it's a very bad psychological place to get into. What was your breakthrough in trading, Adrienne? My breakthrough in trading was realizing that I'm not a trader. I traded mainly to understand the psychology of trading, mainly because I don't have the personality, I don't have the psychology to want to trade. I love what I do. I work with people on states of excellence, and it doesn't really matter whether I understand trading. I just happen to because I work with so many people over 23 years. It doesn't make a difference whether I'm a golfer, because I don't even know how to hold a golf club, and yet I've worked with professional golfers. People who are coaches like myself are coaches for states of excellence. They are not coaches to teach you how to learn technique, although I have enough of background to give advice about where a person should go based upon their personalities, only because of the background that I've had. Can you love trading too much? You can love trading to want to get up in the morning and say, hot damn, it's a new day. I just can't wait to get to the computer because I love to look for opportunity. But if you love trading because you love the adrenaline rush you're feeling, then it becomes an addiction to adrenaline rush, and that is not good. Energy equals mass times the spread of light squared. Okay. Can you give a synopsis of what you would do with a trader like me? What would you expect? What kind of data would you receive? I've read so many questions, Shaw, that I'm not quite sure of what kind of trader you are. So I can't give an answer because I go from question to question and I forget who asked the question from the beginning. So you might have to give me a little bit more information. Where did you get your training of trading psychology? I first studied hypnosis, then Ericksonian hypnosis, then neurolinguistic programming, then timeline therapy, then hypnotherapy, then Gestalt therapy, then Feldenkrais and Silver mind control, and all of that stuff. Now, where I got the most out of understanding how it relates to trading is from traders themselves. But when I first started out, I asked my partner at the time, I said, I don't really understand about trading. And he says, well, it's not for you to understand about trading. It's for you to understand about performance. And over the years, I found that, in learning a lot about traders and trading, it had some help, but really it's all about performance. It's all about you having rules and you having the discipline to follow those rules and the psychological blocks that keep you from following the rules. Okay, will you please give some tools a person can use to be aware of the measures of thinking, the correlation you discuss in question 10? What is the correlation between how you think and how your personal life and how it affects your trading? Well, every part of your personal life, if any part of your personal life is not working, then your performance is going to be affected. I mean, you could see, you know, people like Tiger Woods, who's one of the best technicians in the world with regards to golf. When his personal life got screwed up, it affected his performance. And you could look at your life. Is your family life working? Is your financial life, your social life, your spiritual life, your relationship between people, co-workers, is your health in good shape? So you look at all of the areas of your life, and if something is not working, then it is going to affect your trading, because whatever doesn't work affects performance. And you know, you can lead me to a commercial, and let's see if I can answer more questions. Oh, there are more questions here. Okay, so let me just go on. See, I have lots of questions. And I'll get back to your questions after I give you a commercial. I have a course, a home study course. It has everything to do with the psychology of trading. It has everything to do with fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being wrong, all the fears and all of that, and specific exercises that you can do on your own. It has CDs, DVDs, things to wake you up in the morning and give you the right start for the day, things to put you to sleep at night. It has an evaluation and consultation with me on the phone, and I can tell you exactly where your problems are and what you have to do about it. It has a business plan. So it has all the things that I could think of in my career that a trader needed. And this was originally designed for my clients, and then I put it out to the masses. It was originally $3,000, and now online it's $650. To those people who are listening in, that go on my website, tradingontarget.com, and order between now and Monday, I will give you $100 off on this course. You only have till Monday. So if you're listening in, you know, at a later time, and you said I come from TradingPub, you're not going to get the discount. So it's between now and Monday. I'm only going to show you a couple of things. Oops, I guess I wasn't going to show you a couple of things. There's one other thing that you could get, and that is the course comes in 5 modules, 5 parts, and the first part has the evaluation and consultation with me, plus Trader Secrets, plus Stress Relief for Traders. That's normally $200. I will put the price down to $150. You have to say you're with TradingPub, and then I will give you that special. Now, this is how to get in touch with me, adtoghaire@gmail.com. You could look online, tradingontarget.com, if you want to get the details of this course. And I will answer more questions now. If you're not or we're not trader, how did you commit to the point of being successful? What happened is, when I got in this business 25 years ago, I was working with people who were in the sports arena and performers. I worked with people who were concert pianists, and I don't play the piano. I worked with opera singers. Of course, I was an opera singer, so I did have some background in that. But performance has nothing to do with the technical part of trading. When I studied opera, I had a coach for technique. I had a coach for performance. I had a coach for language. I had about 5 coaches at one time to be an opera singer, and each coach did a different thing. And I learned from that when it comes to performance, when you hone in on just the performance of of a person, then you deal with all of the psychological issues of their life. A friend of mine invited me to do a seminar with him who was in the business at the time of trading, and I said, well, this is great, you know, psychologically fairly healthy people that want to get more healthy in the pocketbook. This is for me. I saw the passion in traders. I saw the personality of traders. I said, I want to specialize in this. That's how I got involved in that. And at the time, I was a little bit concerned that I didn't understand about trading. Hold on, I need a tea break. Too much talking. I remember the first client that I ever had, he had 70 operations. His face was pretty well burnt off, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to work with someone like him? The fact is that he was the most difficult client I've ever worked with, and from there it was easy. Now he wanted to be a trader. He wanted to be successful, and I worked with the techniques I had at the time, and I learned through traders themselves about their techniques, about their strategies, and now I probably understand more about strategies than most people who teach discipline but only teach one strategy, because I've gone through thousands of strategies, so I understand the different strategies more than most people. I really like Adrienne, have bought some of her packages, have yet to get to the point of working with her. Well, thank you, Billy. I hope you do work with me, and if you haven't done the evaluation, please send it in. Morgan gets all excited about that after 20 Red Bulls. Okay, the market is the best teacher. Yes, it is. That's why I traded to find out, you know, if I was missing something that I needed to work with on working with my people. For my situation with a small budget, penny stocks versus Forex, I'm very balanced and quiet. I now have managed the risk without getting upset emotionally. I lost a lot in my life, but I didn't give up, never, okay? If you're working with a small budget, it's really, Forex is really not a place to start out, because it takes a really good psychological balance, and it takes deeper pockets. At least my experience in Forex has been that way, and people that I've worked with who have been in the Forex markets have found that to be so. Have you or do you use EFT in your sessions? No, I don't. It's, you know, all of these psychological things are going to be effective for some people, and I recommend, you know, anything that works. Trading alone versus in a group, trading room, etc. There are some people who find it a very lonesome world when you trade by yourself, because maybe you're the kind of person that used to work in an office and you had people and camaraderie around. So for some people, it's better to get, you know, an office where there are other people. It's best not to get an office where there are other people that trade the same way that you do, because they're all going to have their opinions, and it can get you off track. What is the best state of mind that we should have when trading? Empty mind, equanimity, like a robot without emotions. The best state of mind to be in when you're trading is a focused state of mind. Because if you're in a beta state of mind, you're going to be all over the place, because that's the state of mind where you're doing 10 things at one time. They both are extremely hazardous. Okay, are you hypnotizing us tonight? Actually, no. Very often I do that, but tonight I'm not doing that. I was working with someone all day and I was doing it with him, but not tonight. If a trader came to you to guide them, what steps would you take to help them make successful trades? I'm a small options trader, have been having losses, have turned that around in the last few months, but want more. Okay, well, the first thing that I would do is do my evaluation with them to find out what's holding them back from their next level of success. And there's always something holding back. Then, depending upon the results of that, I would either suggest my top performance seminar that now I do online as well as in person, or I could suggest them reading certain chapters of my book, or I could suggest them working with someone else, or I could suggest private consulting. So it just depends upon the information that I get, how I'm going to work with you. But certainly I would want to overcome your self-imposed limitations, your sabotage issues to get you to each next level of success. And how deep I go is dependent upon your needs for that deepness. You'll give me your money tomorrow, huh? And it's not about awareness. After all, you had the awareness of God. How could you lose a trade? Well, if you honed in on that part of you that is God awareness, then you would not lose out on a trade, because then you would not be in line with your human self, but you would be in line with your spiritual self. And most traders don't trade that way. The best traders trade that way. Can you give us the basic tools to grade ourselves based on performance and goals that you would give a trader? Well, first of all, what do you expect from your strategy? Based upon your criteria of what you should get from your strategy, and what your goals are for yourself based upon the amount of money that you have, and the amount of time you have, and the amount of energy you have to put in trading, that's where I would set my goals. So for everybody, it's different. Yes, it's being recorded. Backtesting, visualizing, any best way to reinforce one's trust in strategy after losing streak. Yes, backtesting, visualizing, both great ways for getting back on the horse. Have you found that traders can get anxious and depressed just because of EMF of computer? Yes, there are devices you can put on the computer to have less of that kind of input. I suggest that a trader, someone gets away from the screen every 15 to 20 minutes. That trader I told you about before that made all that kind of money, he used to keep this big bottle of water and a long straw, and all day long he'd drink water so that he would have to take breaks. How can you tell if trading is a crutch or a silver bullet in your life? Is it the profit or loss and loss? If you have a strategy and you know what that strategy should bring you, and you're making money based upon that strategy, then you know it's working. I'm not sure I'm answering that question correctly. I don't know quite how to answer it. Should one ever invest in manage or Forex account? I work with a lot of money managers, and they have the same psychological issues and problems that you do. Commodity pool advisors will give a proven money manager money for 2 years and then take it away based upon, not based upon if they're making money or not, but they know that after 2 years, most money managers will blow part of their account. So, that's what I got from pool managers. Would I give money to a money manager? I would have to know their psychology. Will there be a recording? Yes. You can tell if your account is bigger or smaller. Okay. Is fear in its many manifestations the chief mental block to peak performance? Yes. you know, fear has many faces. You can call it frustration. You could call it anger. You could even call it greed. But when your emotions are blocking your better thinking, yes, it's going to keep you away from peak performance. Fear and lack of skill, absolutely. What is a good budget to start with? Well, it depends upon whether if you have an income that gives you your lifestyle, then you can start with a small budget. But if you have to live off of your income for trading, then you have a lot more pressure on you, and it depends upon your lifestyle, and it depends upon whether you have the kind of support that you need from people in your life to not give you the kind of stress that will hold you back from trading, you know, the money that is yours and theirs. So again, everything is different for everybody. Thank you very much for your honest answer. I'm looking forward to trading live and be a student and follower. Oh, thank you, Dave. Are you going to have a deal for your private coaching? I never have a deal for my private coaching. I'll tell you why. I have not raised my prices in 23 years in private consulting. I take less and less private people a year. I only take the kind of private people who I believe are going to go all the way. So if once you do my evaluation, and that's the way I pick people, is by them doing my evaluation, then I determine whether I want to work with you, while you determine whether you want to work with me. My private work is $7,500 for 2 days with 6 months of follow-up. I do have another mentoring program that I have for people, and that is when you do the top performance seminar with me, and I will only take on hourly people, and it's really not hourly, it's what you need in that time period. I will work with someone for two times a month. I talk to them, and every day I monitor them, and that's $300 a month. But you have to do the top performance seminar first, and I have to want to work with you, and you have to want to work with me, obviously, because you're going to be paying me. But those are the two types of private consulting that I do. I'm in a wonderful position right now in my life where I take less on, but I take more of the people that want to go the distance in trading. I have 3 minutes left, so what I'm going to do is just go back to here and give you my special again. And this is I've never ever given this kind of a special live. There are a couple of times they've given a special, and you have to call me up to get the special price. But this is for TradingPub people only. This online is $650. If I see that you are from TradingPub by ordering online, it's not going to show you any kind of specials there. So you either have to call me up, or you have to order online, and I will see you're from TradingPub, and I'll automatically give you that $100 off. So you could do it, or you could do it a third way by just sending me your phone number and the best time to reach you, and I will call you up, and I'll just take your credit card over the phone. So there are 3 ways of doing that. But this is normally $650. You get $100 off. It would be $550. The other special that I would give you is just the first part of the course, which has my evaluation and consultation with me on the phone. It's normally $150, and it would be, I'm sorry, it's normally $200. It would be $150 if you say you're from Traders Pub. Thank you so much, Morgan, for having me. Thank you all for being here from all over the world. I really appreciate that. Ala, how are you? It's nice to see you there. And please stay tuned for Ala. She's a wonderful speaker. You'll learn a great deal from her. And I appreciate everyone that's here. If you have any more questions about my course, you could always call me. You could always write me, and we could go through more things. If you have any more questions that are personal to you, then you could just write me, and I answer all my emails, and I'm very reachable. So, you know, I'm working with a private person tomorrow, so it might take me, you know, tomorrow afternoon to get to you. But thank you all for being here, and I'm going to give the sign-off right now, hopefully on time. Okay, bye everyone.